You know, when a time this phrase pan-India is being used so loosely, she has been the true epitome of that particular catchphrase. It is truly exciting to welcome Rakul Preet Singh on stage. Rakul, my first question to you is, are you seriously giving Akshay Kumar a tough run for his money? I mean, she's had 5 films releasing this year, back to back. How did that pan out? Was that planned, or is this the pandemic effect?
I think it's a little bit of both. Definitely not planned. I think no actor wants to have, firstly, good afternoon everyone, and really, really happy to be here. You know, I don't think anyone plans, no actor wants his releases to happen within 10 days, which happened in the case of Dr. G, and thank God. And I think it was a little bit of the pandemic because a few films got delayed, the theaters were shut. So I just think it kind of happened. And a lot of people have been telling me this, are you giving competition to Akshay sir? And I think I really need to work a lot more to do that. I'm nowhere close to where he is.
And you know, working with Akshay Kumar, everybody has that one story, whether you land up on set at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., those crazy call times. What is your takeaway, Akshay Kumar's story?
Can I please tell you that the first reading that we had for Katputli was at 5 a.m. And a lot of the people, a part of the cast, thought it was 5 p.m. And then when we got another message, we were told that no, it's 5 a.m. So the first reading ever that happened for the film was 5 o'clock. But he is an early morning person, and I also enjoy it because I'm also a morning person. I like to finish my day early and wrap by 10 and sleep by 10 actually.
Right. And also what is surprising is the fact that you're a Delhi girl.
Yeah. Right. I'm actually an Indian girl, you know, I'm a Fauji girl, yeah. You know?
Absolutely, so and that makes you an Indian girl.
Completely, because I've not lived in Delhi all my life. I've grown up in different cities, interiors of the country, from, you know, north to south to east to west, everywhere, changed 10 schools. So I don't know if Delhi defines me. I think it's India that defines me.
Absolutely. And this sentiment right now, I think all of us can relate to. Given the fact that you started off your career with regional cinema, and now today regional cinema has become Indian cinema. You know, the lines are being blurred between a particular language and the other. When you look back at those days, when you look back at that thought that I want to become an actor, I want to be on the big screen, what is your fondest memory? What was that first day on set like? Do you remember?
Wow. The first day on set, so you know, I happened to do my first film, which was when I was in first year of college. And at that time, I didn't even know if this is what I wanted to do seriously. It was, I've said this many a times, but I was doing my first film for pocket money. I just happened to get it, and I thought, okay, my dad gives me 2,000 rupees for pocket money, and I'll make way more money, I can get myself a car. So the intention was very different. So I just went on set, I learnt up my lines, crammed up my dialogues, and I understood the process of filming and filmmaking and what is it like to be on a film set on that set. Till then I was too naive, I just had no idea. So honestly, what was the thought? There was no thought. I'd completely gone there like a blank, you know, like a slate, blank slate, and ready to absorb everything. So I don't think I remember what was my first thought, but definitely after that first experience, I knew this is what I want to do. And I decided to complete my graduation. I was studying mathematics. I wanted to complete my graduation and then get to acting.
You were studying mathematics, and I think I've spoken to you before, and the fact that you take an interest in things beyond cinema. And I want to speak to you a bit about that, you know, when you work in this profession, there is so much of pressure to make these Instagram reels, stay socially relevant, you know, attempt to do every possible reel. How do you look at that pressure given the fact that you have such a huge following on Instagram?
You know, I just feel, Tushar, that the degree to which you want to take pressure is in your hands. It's very easy to succumb to the social media demands and stay relevant. But if you see my social media, I am somebody who doesn't really follow all the trends. I do my own thing. And I feel you have to draw that line somewhere. Because you're such a busy schedule, you're working, you're shooting, and then you also have events after that. And then if social media is also manicured and every day I'm taking pressure to put out pictures because I have to stay relevant, then I will lose the real self. So I constantly make that effort to disconnect that and bring out the real me on my social media. You know, I want people to know that Rakul's a normal girl. Who's also silly, who's also fun, who doesn't have to be perfect all the time. It's fine. So I refuse to take that pressure. Even if you see me at airports, I will never be dressed up. I just happen to get caught.
Yeah, and also when Rakul, the normal girl who's just chilling out, having her own day, when she receives a comment on a post which is from a troll, which is something hurtful, you have two options. One is you block the person, or second is you just say like, look, I'm not going to deal with this, I'm just going to ignore. What is your take on?
Or the third is you reply. No, I think it's changed over the years. There are times that you get really affected. I would be lying if I say that it doesn't hurt, because at the end of the day we're all human. But I think I've learned to sort of ignore, and until the time it's not affecting me and my family, till the time it's not addressed directly or hurtful in that way, I just choose to ignore. I do sometimes block because I don't want to revisit negativity. I just feel that there's no space in my life to go through hurtful comments, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to subject myself to that, so I sometimes end up blocking it. But then how much do you block? So you just kind of ignore. You learn to ignore.
Yeah, absolutely, you learn your way. Also, what is interesting is the fact that, you know, there's almost a role reversal sort in regional cinema and the way Hindi cinema is taken. There was a time when actors from regional cinema were trying to make inroads into Hindi films. They would approach producers, they would have conversations of what film can I do. Now, especially with Telugu cinema doing so well, films doing so well, it's almost like Bollywood stars are now auditioning to do regional cinema. What has been your take on this conversation?
You know, I think it's a great time. Honestly, I believe that cinema, we're one country, you know, and cinema speaks a language of emotion and not really boundaries. We've, over the years, and this has been happening, I think it's just that the conversation has started now. But if you look at the films in the 70s and 80s, I mean, Sridevi ma'am, Tabu ma'am, they've all worked in the South and worked here very successfully. There's so many films that are being remade then and now. I think today, in the age of social media, we're just having a bigger conversation about it and discussing, and then and it reaches so many more people, so it becomes a discussion. But at the same time, I think it's a great time, the pandemic has led people to sort of get accustomed to different kind of content, whether it's from the West, whether it's you know, Korean, whether it's regional. So what better than that if the best of all the worlds can come together? And I always say this, I feel that India is a country that is so diverse in its culture that if the best of every region can come together and make one single Indian cinema, it can be, you know, it can sort of be a storm worldwide.
Right. But when you read headlines or when you have this conversation that Bollywood is over, films are not working, actors have no work, now they're all rushing to regional cinema to try and get work, and the tide is changing now in the favor of actors from regional cinema. How does that feel? Because you've been part of both.
Yeah.
And if you had to give Hindi film cinema a learning lesson, because you've worked in regional cinema, what is the one culture that they can adapt which might change things in their favor?
No, I think it's just a phase, You know, I think people jump, I could be wrong, but I just feel that we are very quick to write headlines. And everybody loves to write off things that are not, you know, working. But it's tougher to see how much effort goes into making a product. And I think every 5-6 years, there's a phase that comes where you sort of understand what's working. It's never the same, you know, what goes up comes down and then goes back up again. Today, films from the South are working, but we are only talking about those 3-4 films that have released here. There are 3-4 films that release every week. Similarly, 3-4 films have worked in Hindi also. I think what we need to understand is that, which is my personal opinion, because this is an everyday discussion, I feel that post the pandemic, the taste of the audiences has sort of changed, right? People have been, they have gotten used to watching content at home. And also, we were possibly the lucky ones who had a house, had salaries, we didn't have to worry, but people maybe do not have that much ability to spend. And also in the South, there is a cap on the theatre costs. Yes. and there's no cap here. So there are too many factors. It's not about the Bollywood films not working or the South films working. It's also about affordability. It's about the kind of cinema that people want to watch. They make larger than life cinema. Maybe that's what people want to go to theaters for, and because if the taste had changed, my question is, on the National Cinema Day, when the prices were really slashed, the footfalls were extremely high for the same films which were running for 2 weeks. So I think we need to question a lot more other things than films working or not working, because the same films work very well on OTT.
Correct.
So if those films are not being liked, then they wouldn't work on OTT. So I think it's about affordability, it's about priority, it's about the taste that is changing. Possibly people are just working for an unforeseen future and saving up, you don't know. So I think we're all in a trial and error phase, trying to figure out what's really landing. And it's globally that phenomena. It's not just Bollywood or South. I think globally every industry is going through a testing phase and figuring out what's the future going to be like.
I think somebody should get a transcript of this and try to decipher points from what you said, because this is truly interesting. It's not one particular thing.
Yeah, it's not. It's always an amalgamation of things, right? It's never just one thing.
I also have to ask you, because you've worked with a variety of actors, if you had to steal one thing from these following co-stars, what would it be? Have to start with Allu Arjun.
His dancing skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a hook step of his that is your favorite, that has been, apart from obviously
all his hook steps, I think he's my favorite, and I don't know, I think right now his Pushpa's hook step, which became so popular, I mean, it's so simple and it's so popular, where he's dragging his feet, Srivalli. But even other hook steps where he dances, he has no bones in his body. I think he's amazing, he's so effortless, so his dancing skills.
Right. Ajay Devgan?
I think the calm with which he operates, because having worked with him in Runway, in the capacity of him being a director and a co-star, I just saw how much ease and focus Ajay sir has. And because in De De Pyar De, he was just my co-star. But in Runway, which is also a very difficult film to shoot, there were multiple cameras, there was hydraulics with which we were trying to shoot the crashing of the plane and things like that. So it's not easy. And the focus with which he operates, I think that.
Right. Akshay Kumar?
With
if
Akshay
you could
sir,
steal something from him, what would it be? I mean, if you had the chance of that luxury of just saying that.
I don't think I should say that, but maybe his money.
That's a good one. I think he would hear this.
I don't think I should have said that. Yeah.
What's the one thing that you love about Mumbai the most, given the fact that you have a home in Hyderabad and you have a home here?
Yeah.
Like if Mumbai ka vada pav or Hyderabad ki biryani, what is your choice between these two?
Biryani is healthier, so I would go for biryani. I don't eat vada pav. But I think what I love about Mumbai is that the city doesn't let you sit. I think it's a city of, there's a reason it's called City of Dreams, and there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of drive, aggression, and I'm a workaholic. So I love that drive that this city offers.
Right. If you had to choose a song between these two, if this was your song, would it be Oo Anta Va Mama or would it be Sami Sami? Which song would it be? If you had a choice.
Oo Anta Va. Of course Oo Anta Va. If I could choose, it would be Oo Anta Va.
Absolutely. I think we can't let you go before, having you dance on Mashuka, another very, very popular song of yours. If we could have you do a couple of hook steps, that would be really amazing. Can we please play Mashuka?
Okay, but somebody needs to join me.
Yes, of course, we have a few fans here.
Somebody needs to join me to do Mashuka.
Fans here who will join us.
She's killed it.
Let's start with Mashuka. Amazing. A big round of applause for Rakul, Preet, Singh.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This was amazing.
Thank you so much. much, Rakul. Preet, do stay with us one moment as we have something small to give to you. Could I request Mr. Mudit Dalmia of the NL Dalmia Education Society to join us on stage?